Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pod Crushed.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
We interview celebrities and experts about their middle school experiences. We talk to them about crushes, about embarrassing moments, because that time of life is just ripe for stories.
How much was your car payment?
$1,100 a month.
Oh!
Our show is all about their money and their personal finances so they can see themselves in the advice that we give or the inspiration or the encouragement as well.
I love sitting down with comedians and joking about scammers. When you cover a scammer who is alive, even if all the information obviously is public knowledge, they might contact you. And boy, have I been contacted.
What is the common factor between Scam Goddess, The Dave Ramsey Show, and Pod Crushed? I couldn't tell you.
No, I feel you only do it at night, right? No.
Being a podcast producer can mean a ton of different things. In a broad sense, you're keeping the wheels in motion, running the full schedule, making sure that you get your episode out on time every week. And within that, there's a million different things the job could entail.
We're going to ask, what's your relationship to scams? It sounds like you got a great Utah story.
I love them.
Yeah. This is the one space where you can interrupt a woman.
Yeah.
So
I'm interrupting women all the time.
Interrupt me all the time, and we'll just have a good time. It's very chill, and I'm so excited to see you in person. Oh my God, you're real. Okay. It's not just Zoom. Okay, so everybody's in here.
The research on the show is one of my favorite things. Since I've started producing the show, every news story I hear of or every time on the internet, you're just thinking ooh, is that a scam? Is that fraud? Oh, what is this? And you're kind of just we always have our eyes and ears open for anything that could be good for the show.
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Where do you want me?
Yeah.
Down here at the end?
Okay.
We're looking for stories that are going to be fun to riff on and provide comedy. So we're going to get the facts straight. Just I have a few little things at the end of the show to note.
Okay, great. And then...
All right, whenever you're ready, Laci.
Okay, I'm ready. We can start. What's poppin', congregation? It's your girl, Laci Mosley, aka Scam Goddess, coming back to you with another episode of the pod all about robbery, fraud, and those who practice it. Sometimes we love them, sometimes we hate them. We will see along the way.
My job is basically to set them up so that they can just walk into the studio and get as close to as they can possibly get to just focusing on the conversation.
Hey.
How
are you?
Hey.
Hello, David.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Long time. So that's everything from booking everything, in terms of the studio or hiring a team, writing the beat sheets, I write the intro bios that are read at the top of the episodes.
We need an intro line for Ilana's episode.
Okay.
Any thoughts?
Playing the director, no.
Okay, it's long. Wait, can I pitch an idea?
You give us an idea.
Okay, Penn, did you smoke weed as a middle schooler?
It'll be relevant.
Yeah. Once I had left middle school when I was still middle school age. Yes, that's the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, so when you were 12 or 13.
12.
What if one of us did I'll be your middle school bestie, and then you said smoking weed in I don't know where people smoke weed. And then Sophie and I,
Under the bleachers. Guys.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Okay, we're rolling.
Perfect.
Okay.
Check.
I'm number one. Okay. And I think we would have been your middle school besties.
Smoking weed out back behind the bleachers for the first time.
I would never.
The four of us came together to make this thing, and it was very much like something we're making democratically. Everybody's contributing, we're just sort of snowballing and spitballing. And then, of course, as it turns into a real thing out in the world, it's Penn Badgley's podcast, right? But that's really not what it is. It's never been that, at all.
We do a lot of research, hours and hours of research. There's 3 to 5, sometimes 10, but 3 to 5 is more normal. 3 to 5 pages of notes.
We'll compile a doc that has their, as much as we understand of their life story, where they were born, what their parents were like, if they have any siblings, where they lived, if they moved, where they were specifically around middle school. Sometimes this information is very easy to find, sometimes it's not.
She has a special coming out.
You're not gonna read during the interview. What I have, guys, is I have a lot of notes, but they...
Show prep is irrelevant.
So,
Three of them go Sunday. One goes.
The show prep's 30 years worth of experience. We don't have any idea what the calls are going to be. When we sit down, we just start taking the calls, and people got all kinds of questions, and you got to think quick. You got to be quick on your feet. You got to do everything. You only get one shot because it's live. You don't get to edit it. You don't get to come back and fix it. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show.
The brokerage fund is $80,000,
Mm-hmm.
and the sinking fund is $30,000.
What's it sinking for?
Travel.
Uh-huh. All right, so now we have $310,000 to weather this. I think you're okay. Breathe. Right? The callers that we put on are the records we play, and if we don't play hits, we go out of business. I've had a lot of different calls in 30 years on the show. I don't think I've had that one before.
Hi, Dave. I'm doing great. How about you?
Better than I deserve. Better than I deserve. Better than I deserve. How can I help? You have $300,000 of credit cards and personal loans? Oh, Lord. You don't borrow money to cross the state line. That's known as stupid. Stupid! No, no, no. Hey, I'm going to answer the questions here. If you don't want that kind of advice, if you don't want me to tell you what I think, don't call.
Let's get into our first segment here. What's hot and fraud? This is where we warn our listeners about popping scams in the zeitgeist, and more often than not, we get a letter from you guys out there. As always, snitch on your friends and family at scamgoddesspod@gmail.com. Just make sure your scam is retired because we don't want to what? Yes. Fuck up your bag. Amen. We have listener letters. They know I'm going to change their names. They know what they share is going to be private. They write me the most lovely notes and appreciation at the end. They know I won't read it on air. Miranda Nathan, I need a fake name for this person. We don't care about gender. Could be anything.
Mary Ellen.
How classy.
So, Mary Ellen says... Okay, so I have the handwriting of a serial killer. It's kind of embarrassing. Hello, fellow felon. Thank you for letting me rob you a bit. Love, Laci. The parasocial relationship that I have with the congregation, which are the fans of the podcast, is really special to me. It's very important to me. It feels like we're all on a journey together and we're all discovering things together and making jokes and having fun. I'm here with Bridger Weiniger.
Hi.
And we just finished what?
Oh, a Scam Goddess episode for the holidays and the ages.
The holidays and the ages.
Scamming.
Okay.
Anyway, so I would listen to the Ramsey show on my way to work and cry.
That's the interesting thing about podcasting and having a show is you are talking into a microphone or a camera and you don't always see the audience on the other side, right? And so that is what is so unique is seeing them in person. When people do their debt-free screams, it is probably one of my favorite calls that we take.
Let's hear a debt-free scream. You're debt-free! I'm debt-free!
I'm debt-free! Seeing their faces and seeing the dynamics play out right in front of you is so powerful because these people are not famous or overly wealthy or successful. They are everyday people that have chosen to do something that is so uncommon in our world today. And it's everyone from single moms, families with little kids, people in their 60s that paid off their house. I mean, you get every element, but the one thread that is the same is that they believe that they have control over their money. It's all gonna be different because of the choices they've made.
Let's hear a debt-free scream!
3, 2, 1.
I'm debt-free!
So good.
Man, she leaned in.
She's amazing.
That was
amazing.
strong.
Welcome to Pod Crushed. We're your hosts. I'm Penn.
I'm Nava. And I'm Sophie. And I think we would have been your middle school besties, flinging tampons at the wall.
Ah, I'm glad I wasn't the only one. I want to create the space for our guests to give as thoughtful and long of an answer as they want. Obviously, we live in the age of the podcast, so there are more spaces for it than there used to be. But still, you get somebody on a press tour, and they're just going, and they're having to talk about their project. And I think we represent like a break from that, and I really value that.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming.
Before we actually dive right in, I do think we have to address how different this episode is.
No, it's
from
so
all
different.
of our other episodes.
I've seen
In
them
what
and
way?
I'm
I'm
like,
not sure
where
what
are
you're
you?
talking about. In which way?
Yeah, Ariana was like, "Is this a new setup for season 3?"
Yeah.
Like it's a new setup for you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's so nice.
Well, we're doing sort of one-offs this year. You know, we just sort of like we vibe to our guests, and you warrant a
Is this
giant
my vibe?
wooden
Oh my God.
studio built
Thank
in
you.
probably the 1980s.
Okay, guys, we're done. We got it.
I love my co-host, like really genuinely, especially when we're all together in person. We have so much fun.
Everything I've done in my career has been starting projects with friends and then accidentally like finding an audience with it, and then I just get to work with my friends.
For the 30 minutes one, I think you should be eating popcorn.
Yeah.
So I can make it more.
Perfect.
I have popcorn.
Do you have popcorn?
3, 2.
Do you know you have 30 minutes? Are you kidding me? 30, yes.
That's so chaotic.
So good.
So, yeah, we can't repeat that.
Apologies in advance to everyone watching this. Scams!
My producer is my icon, and literally I don't know where I would be without Scott. He basically makes sure the ship is being steered. He makes sure the research is accurate and we're not going to get sued, because if you listen to my podcast, I talk a lot about the Abogado Fund, and that's the fund for my lawyer if I get sued. You know, we have some close calls, but you know, like, I tend to run over. I'm very loquacious. And Scott will sometimes, I'll look at him and I'll be like, oh, I need to move on to the next segment. Because, you know, he's like, time. And then sometimes, like, he'll message in the chat or somewhere and be like, let's get to the hoodwinks. And I'll be like, Scott, I was already about to get to that. And so I'll just, like, yell into the mic at him. But it's all in jest. And I wish he would leave more of his commentary in, because I really like it.
Scott, is that true? All that stuff? It's pretty accurate. I guess I can leave myself in more, but you know, no promises. Maybe I'll take a little of you out to make room.
Oh! Scams, cons, robbery. Okay, now you're throwing me off pitch.
I told you. I didn't want to be here.
Okay. Okay.
What is the common factor between Scam Goddess, The Dave Ramsey Show, and Pod Crushed? I couldn't tell you.
I think the reason those are all the top 3 is people can see themselves in it. I think listeners, when they can relate to the content and see themselves in that story, that is highly attractive.
I think that Pod Crush is giving people nostalgia because people want to go back to a time that wasn't so stressful.
Laci is just like hilarious and so fast paced. She's just like bing, bang, boom. And actually Dave Ramsey is kind of like that too.
There's something about an election season, and particularly this divisive one that we just went through, that caused people to be frozen, deer in the headlights, and waiting as if something up there was going to change their life, and it doesn't.
I'm really happy that we're reaching people because we share so much information on this podcast, and also we make jokes, and you know, comedy is a cure for loneliness, so I hope that we're making people a little less lonely.
I'm trying hard to find a common denominator between scams, financial advisors, and 13-year-olds. Maybe like dumb decisions. I guess that's it. There's like stories there because there's a lot of mistakes. There's a lot to learn from those mistakes. That's kind of mind-blowing. I think I cracked it.